Imagine this: you're a broken man, fresh out of a divorce that shattered your world, raising a little girl who looks at you with eyes full of questions you can't answer. Then, your ice-cold CEO, the woman who runs your company like a fortress, offers you a deal that sounds too absurd to be true. She'll pretend to be your girlfriend at your ex-wife's fancy gala, just to make her jealous. But there's a catch: one kiss. One simple kiss that could unravel everything. What starts as a petty revenge plot spirals into a whirlwind of raw emotions, hidden vulnerabilities, and a love you never saw coming. Stick with me through this tale of heartbreak, healing, and hope, because by the end, you'll see how one bold act can rewrite your entire life, and maybe inspire you to chase your own second chance. Matthew Collins stared at the invitation in his hand, the elegant gold-embossed card mocking him from his cluttered kitchen table. It was from Rebecca, his ex-wife, announcing her annual charity gala for children's education, a cause she had championed during their marriage, back when things were good. Or at least, when he thought they were. The divorce had been finalized 6 months ago, a brutal unraveling of 10 years together, leaving him with custody of their 5-year-old daughter, Lily, and a gaping hole where his heart used to be. Rebecca had moved on quickly, of course, with some hotshot lawyer named Derek, who probably drove a car worth more than Matthew's yearly salary as a mid-level accountant at Monroe Enterprises. The gala was in 2 weeks, and Rebecca had made sure to include a personal note: "Bring a +1 if you'd like. Derek and I would love to catch up." It was a jab, plain and simple. She knew he hadn't dated since the split, knew he spent his evenings microwaving dinners and reading bedtime stories to Lily, who still asked why mommy didn't live with them anymore. Matthew crumpled the card and tossed it aside, rubbing his temples. He was 35, fit enough from weekend runs, but his confidence had been shredded. Who would want a guy like him, ordinary, burdened with baggage? Work was his only escape. Monroe Enterprises was a powerhouse in tech consulting, led by Catherine Monroe, the enigmatic CEO who everyone whispered about. She was 38, stunning in a way that intimidated more than attracted, sharp features, piercing green eyes, and a reputation for being ruthless in boardrooms. Matthew had only interacted with her a handful of times, mostly during company-wide meetings where she commanded the room like a general. He admired her from afar, the way she built the company from nothing after her own messy divorce years ago. Rumors said she'd sworn off relationships, focusing solely on her empire. That Friday, as the office emptied out, Matthew stayed late crunching numbers for a big client pitch. His phone buzzed with a text from his babysitter: Lily was down with a fever. Panic rising, he gathered his things, only to bump into Catherine in the elevator. She was in her signature power suit, holding a tablet, her expression unreadable. "Mr. Collins," she said, her voice smooth but authoritative. "Burning the midnight oil?" "Just finishing up, Ms. Monroe." "Family emergency, my daughter's sick." She nodded, but instead of the usual polite dismissal, she pressed the hold button on the elevator. "I overheard you talking to HR about the gala. Your ex-wife's event?" Matthew blinked, caught off guard. Yeah. Not sure if I'm going." "Why not?" "Show her what she's missing." There was a glint in her eye, something almost playful. He laughed bitterly. "With what? My stellar single dad charm? She'd just pity me." Catherine tilted her head, studying him. "What if you didn't go alone? What if you showed up with someone impressive?" He frowned. "Like who?" "Me." The word hung in the air, simple and shocking. "I'll pretend to be your girlfriend. Make her jealous. I've got nothing better to do that night, and frankly, I could use a break from these endless mergers." Matthew's mouth went dry. "Why would you do that? You." She smirked. "Let's just say I know what it's like to be underestimated after a divorce. And revenge? It's a dish best served with style." She paused, her gaze locking onto his. "But there's a condition. One kiss. During the event, to sell it. Nothing more, nothing less." His heart pounded. A kiss? From her? It was insane, but the thought of seeing Rebecca's face twist with envy was intoxicating. "Deal," he said before he could overthink it. The next 2 weeks were a blur. Catherine insisted on preparation, shopping for a tux that made him look like $1,000,000, coaching him on small talk, even arranging a sitter for Lily through her connections. They met in her office after hours, where the professional facade cracked just a little. She shared snippets of her past, a cheating husband who left her for a younger model, how she'd channeled the pain into building her company. Matthew opened up too, about how Rebecca's constant criticisms had worn him down, how he felt like a failure as a father. Lily adored the practice dates Catherine suggested, picnics in the park where she played the doting girlfriend, making Lily giggle with stories of far-off adventures. But beneath the charade, something stirred in Matthew. Catherine wasn't just powerful, she was kind in quiet ways, like when she sent soup to his apartment after Lily's fever broke. He caught himself staring at her laugh lines, wondering what it would be like if this weren't pretend. The night of the gala arrived. The venue was a glittering ballroom in downtown Manhattan, filled with the city's elite. Matthew's palm sweated as he escorted Catherine inside, her arm linked with his. She looked breathtaking in an emerald gown that matched her eyes, turning heads everywhere. Rebecca spotted them immediately, her smile faltering as she approached with Derek. "Matthew. So glad you came. And who's this?" Rebecca's voice was syrupy, but her eyes narrowed. "Catherine Monroe," Catherine said coolly, extending a hand. "Matthew's girlfriend. CEO of Monroe Enterprises. Pleasure to meet you." Rebecca's face paled. "Girlfriend? That's wonderful. Derek, darling, let's get drinks." As the evening unfolded, the plan worked flawlessly. Whispers followed them. How had the quiet accountant landed the powerhouse CEO? Catherine played her role to perfection, laughing at his jokes, touching his arm possessively. But as they danced under the chandeliers, the line between fake and real blurred. Her hand on his shoulder felt warm, genuine. Then came the moment. During a slow song, Catherine leaned in. "Time for the condition," she whispered. Their lips met, soft at first, then deepening with an unexpected fire. It wasn't just a kiss, it was a spark that ignited something long dormant in both of them. When they pulled apart, Matthew saw it in her eyes: surprise, vulnerability. The jealousy ploy had backfired, or evolved, into something real. But challenges loomed. Rebecca cornered him later, her facade cracking. "Is this some joke? You're using her to get back at me?" Her words stung, dredging up old wounds. "And Catherine?" She pulled away slightly, confessing in the limo ride home that she hadn't expected to feel anything. "This was supposed to be simple," she said, her voice trembling. "I don't do emotions anymore." Matthew lay awake that night, replaying the kiss, wondering if he'd just complicated everything. Lily stirred in her sleep, murmuring, "Mommy," and his heart ached. How could he pursue this when his life was still a mess? The chapter closed on a tense note, with Matthew resolving to talk to Catherine at work, but fearing rejection. The days following the gala were torturous. At the office, Catherine avoided Matthew's gaze during meetings, burying herself in work. He tried cornering her once, but she brushed him off with a curt, "It was just pretend, Mr. Collins." The rejection hit hard, echoing the emptiness he'd felt after Rebecca left. But Lily noticed his gloom. "Daddy, why are you sad?" "Is it because of Auntie Kathy?" she asked one evening, her small hand in his. Auntie Kathy. That's what Lily had started calling her after those practice outings. It warmed him, but also terrified him. What if this budding connection hurt his daughter too? Matthew decided to confront the past head-on. He called Rebecca, not out of anger, but for closure. They met at a neutral coffee shop, Derek nowhere in sight. "I didn't go to the gala to hurt you," he admitted. "I went because I needed to feel like I mattered again." Rebecca sighed, tears in her eyes. "I was wrong to leave like that. Derek, he's not you. But we both made mistakes. For Lily's sake, let's co-parent better. It was a small resolution, but it lifted a weight. Emboldened, Matthew sought out Catherine. He found her late one night in her office, staring at city lights. "Why are you pushing me away?" he demanded. She turned, her armor cracking. "Because that kiss, it scared me. My ex destroyed me, Matthew. I built walls to protect myself. Pretending with you was safe, until it wasn't." He stepped closer. "I'm scared too. But what if this is our second chance? Not just pretend." What followed was a raw unraveling. Catherine shared her deepest scars, the betrayal that left her infertile from stress, the loneliness of success without love. Matthew confessed his fears of failing Lily, of being unlovable. They talked for hours, tears mixing with laughter. The challenge was trust. Could two wounded souls rebuild together? Resolution came gradually. Catherine joined them for family dinners, no pretense needed. Lily thrived under her attention, and Matthew found strength in Catherine's quiet support. One evening, as they watched Lily play in the park, Catherine took his hand. "I want this for real," she said. "No conditions." Their first real kiss sealed it, passionate, healing. Months passed, challenges arose, like blending work and romance, navigating co-parenting with Rebecca, who eventually warmed to the idea. But they faced them together. Catherine softened her edges, delegating more at work to make time for life. Matthew regained his confidence, even getting a promotion with her genuine endorsement. The story culminated in a quiet proposal under the stars, Lily holding the ring box. "Will you be my mommy too?" she asked Catherine, who nodded through tears. In the end, what began as a vengeful ploy blossomed into profound love. The inspiring message? Healing comes from unexpected places. One act of kindness, one risky kiss, can mend broken hearts and open doors to joy. Never underestimate the power of second chances, embrace them, and watch your life transform. If you're feeling lost, remember, hope is always just one bold step away.